Hi dolls! Today I want to show you everything I made in 2025, which when I look at it is quite a lot. I tend to forget what I make and how much I make in a span of a very short time. So let's get to it. I was inspired by a girl on YouTube to style all the items. And the first one is this dress. I made it without a pattern and I think it turned out quite well. Like I really wanted a Courtney Love-esque dress slash a Victorian-esque neckline. I haven't worn this dress a lot. I think it might be the lack of styling. And also that I think I have ever so slightly throughout the year kind of switched my style in a different direction. But I do love the fit. I do love how I style it. But I might sell it. However, I really wanted to show you. And this is the full outfit. It's really cute. Should I say what I'm wearing as well? Well, the heels are John Fluvok, tight from Amazon. These gloves are from Vestiaire. This hat is from Vintage hat. And then my dress. I'm back in the next outfit. This outfit I'm really proud of. Not only because Ashnigo wore it to Paris Fashion Week 2025 for the Fecal Matters fashion show, but I'm in love with the silhouette of this top. As you might know, I'm really in love with the Victorian era and I was about to say lace up, but the hook and eyes really emulate that for me. And then the skirt I made as well. I love the skirt. However, again, I laced up the skirt in a little wrong way for me to actually tie it up without showing the butt. So no turning around and no peeking in the mirror if you see anything, which I hope you don't. So these two pieces I made. I also made all of these hats you see. And this one she wore in Japan, which I'm really stoked about. Not just because she brought Japan back home with me, but also because she wore it. And I love this military-esque hat. I added spikes, dots, and it's made out of a French fabric. I think I bought it from a shop here in Denmark called Lebrun. They import fabrics, furnitures, etc. things from France, and I thought it would be a perfect match and perfect combination. So this is the look for now. I could of course change out the hat easily. This is the hat, a little close up, a little sailor moment. If we want to go that route. But I am styling this hat in a different look. If you're not a sewer, I was about to fall, oh no, then it's quite easy to make small little DIYs. For example, I have this flower you get with Chanel purchases, and I just sticked on a pen and then you can use it on hats, clothes, you get it? I did the same thing with this flower, which came off of a broken hair clip. You know, I just ripped off the flowers, and then you can even just attach a symbol safety pin or glue on a pin, but you get the same functionality out of it. Again, to tops, skirts, bags, hats. You get the vibe. These are other flowers I made. This one is out of fabric that I cut from an old duvet cover. And then I just burned the sides and added, here I sewed on the pin. But I really loved this. I think, what's her face? Elena Dawson. I'm very inspired by her creations and her flowers. And I thought this was a really good emulation, if that's a word, for her designs. And again, a tool scrap I had and added a pin. It's very easy and takes less than a few minutes. I have so much to choose between. Before I move on, I made this cage skirt, hoop skirt, pannier, whatever you call it. And I love it. I love it for styling. However, it has become a little too big on me, so I do have to do a few adjustments. But yes, I will add a few photos since I'm not styling everything. There's just too much. But yes, this was made out of a thrifted curtain, I think. Yeah. Cute little thing to style. It's an underbust corset top, which is something I really want to make even more of. There's just so many things I really want to make, and I tend to kind of spontaneously start projects accordingly to what other projects they might match up with. For example, this thing I made because I was in need of a costume or an outfit for an upcoming photo shoot. And again, I had a second old wedding gown, and I thought this would just be perfect. And this is from the first wedding gown I told you about, the petticoat. And then just out of the blue, within a few days, I had the outfit. But of course, I then neglected the planned projects I had in mind, which sucks sometimes. But, you know, that's how things go. What I love about sewing, let me just speak while this is happening. What I love about sewing is the challenges, and also that you get to own pieces that are unique, like very unique. No other person in the world own what you created. And this top, I should probably change the skirt. Wait a minute. Now, this skirt I made as well, the cat/lion printed face fabric piece, was in the past a pillow cover, and I love the picture. However, I'm not in love with the whole skirt. The back I had trouble with, so I just kind of made a quick fix, and now it has been at least a year, I think, since I made it. But the back is just purple from an old gown, you know it by now. And I added frills, not frills, ruffles. But yes, it's still a project that I want to work on and probably just switch out the back or make this one into something else. Not sure. Please write your ideas or opinion on this skirt because, again, whenever you sew, there are a million possibilities and options. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have a hard time starting a project. Because no, I don't just want a blazer with a high neck. I also want that exact blazer with a V-cut, but in the same fabric. And then I keep on contemplating what to do, and I never start the project. But that might just be me. I made these two pieces. Let me add a hat. I was thinking of this one. Perhaps the sailor hat I made as well. At the back, as you can see, the vest has a lace-up detailing, and I added a gray ribbon to kind of switch up the whole white look. Okay, next up, I was thinking of wearing this one. This one I was supposed to use for a Courtney Love inspired Halloween costume for the MTV Awards, where she wore the Galliano 1994 corset top, and I made my own. I'm really proud of this one and I love the fit. I didn't even make a mock-up. I didn't have the time, but it turned out perfectly. And it was the first time I used this pattern, and I even changed up the pattern without trying it on. So, quite proud of me. You are allowed to be proud of yourself, even for smaller tasks. And this one was quite big, so I'm really proud. But yes, I used the same. As you might be able to see, there's a purple layer under the lace, which is the same fabric I used for the back of the skirt. So these might kind of match and be a good outfit. Let's try it on. Now the top is on, and I of course have the bows as the original top. And again, the same gown I used for these two pieces, the purple. Ta-da! The outfit. I love this top. I love the high cut it has on the hips. I love the fringes, which I repurposed from a kimono I hadn't used for years, and now they'll be worn like so. I hand sewed on a bunch of pearls all the way around, and then we have the velvet bow. And these two bows, I decided to, use them as pins rather than sewing on the bows straight to the shirt. Since, I might want to wear this in a less costumey way and for different events and styling opportunities. But yes, I love this. Okay, the heels I forgot to tell you, they are from Spirit. Got them from Vinted. Tied, same one from Amazon. And I think that's pretty much it. Now I have a lot of things. Let me just tell you quickly about this little thing. This one I embroidered on my sewing machine. My machine has the ability to embroider. However, the machine is not a big fan of it. And every time I've tried, I have looked online a million times to find a solution. It ifs up. It really does. And it even messes up the machine itself. And I have to clean it and oil it up every single time. So I'm having a big time break from that task. When you sew, and if you sew, you know there's gonna be a lot of fabric scraps. And for that, I have a solution. I have a Blythe doll. And she's wearing a homemade cape, very inspired by Comme des Garçons. I have a lot of garments I'm sewing for her, but again, time is a problem for me. I don't have it. I even made her a bag out of a deteriorating faux leather Sarah makeup bag. That was a mouthful to say, even that. But yes, it's a cute studded bag, and I love making her items. However, it's a rare occasion, but I think it's a good idea to use your scraps for dolls. They need fabulous wardrobes as well. For this next outfit, I'm wearing a skirt I made myself. I'm also very in love with everything Betsy Johnson have ever made. And this skirt is supposed to be a part of a two-piece set. I haven't made the top yet, which, well, I should have, because I haven't worn the skirt because I am missing the top. I just have a look in mind, and therefore I just never styled the skirt itself. However, I love the skirt, I love the fit. It's made out of not duvet cover, but table cover. And then again, the same with the lace at the bottom and the frilly ruffles. I also made this neck corset. This was out of a skirt that never sold on Vinted or any platform I was trying to sell it on. So I would just, well, I could donate it, but I have a project in mind where this would be perfect. And I kept it and repurposed it. The lace is from a fabric scrap I have. And then again, we have the hook and eyes. I could also add this tricot hat I made. This is also repurposed out of a dress that, with the same thing that happened with the skirt, never sold. So I decided to repurpose it and make it into this little hat, which I adore and have used way more than said item. And same with the skirt. I love these pieces till death, and though I am gonna sell out a few of the items I have made, mostly because I'm lacking space and I'm going to Japan in April this year, so very soon, and I need space. But I am keeping these 3 pieces, at least for now. The next outfit I want to wear is this little 2-piece. This top also has this bow, which I love the bow, I love the fabric. The bow fabric is from one of the wedding gowns I had, and this I'm made out of plain old navy cotton, 100% cotton fabric. This is the outfit as a whole, and with this sailor hat I made as well. I'm also gonna sell the hat. The shorts I'm waiting a little with because I haven't used them enough. I feel like I really want to use them again on stage. Now this bow really turns this outfit from a, let's be honest, not a 0, but let's see, like a 5 up to a 10. Since the bow is the cutest ever, am I right or am I right? I love this so much. However, I don't get to wear it as much as it deserves. The shorts have a ruffled butt, which is inspired by the Vivienne Westwood skirt with the tulle ruffled butt that Carrie Bradshaw is wearing in Sex and the City as well. What do we think? Let's see, I have a lot on my little rack here. This one is kind of obvious. It's a perfect match and made from the same fabric as the shorts. This top, or vest more so, is a pattern from Etsy as well, inspired by the Vivienne Westwood color way she uses a lot. The vest is on, and even now it's quite busty, but it's less than the original pattern, which I do like. It's wearable without layering. This was made as a set and I used it as a set, but I do wanna use it separate as well. And let me see what else. I also made this one this year. Ashnigo wore it in a music video, I think. No, or just for a TikTok, I think. I'm not sure. But she wore it, and I think this one might be a selling piece as well. I'll see it when I style it. Just, I haven't worn it. I made this more so because I had a striped mini dress I had made as one of my first projects, and it didn't turn out well, to say the least. So I really wanted to get rid of that dress, and I turned it into a corset. I love the fit. I am gonna show you it on right now. This is the top on, and I love the cut. I might just rethink my before set thing. The back. It might just be the stripes is a hard thing for me to style. I was thinking of using this hat, which I also made. I think it looks quite cool to mix these two patterns, but again, keeping it in the black and white color scheme. What do we think? But yes, this outfit is cute. This bow I also made, which is a cute thing. I haven't tried this before. I love this even more. Okay, I'm keeping it for a little while still. I think it could work. The hat I would probably take off. Gonna put it over here. The chapeau I made out of my grandma's vintage napkins and also a few thrifted embroidered napkins. It's a very easy first time sewing project. But yes, these shorts I made as well. They are very voluminous compared to a pair of bloomers I got from eBay from China years ago. But I think I kind of love the look. This year was also the year of Spats, though I only made 2 pairs. This one is very inspired by the Alexander McQueen universe. I used this for the Christmas horror short film I made with a very creative team. And I love these, made out of a repurposed or a dress I've repurposed, and a shirt I repurposed as well. And you just put it on your heel like so, and then you tie it. I love it. I haven't really styled them at all, only for that costume, but they look really cute. Love that look. Another spat moment is these. These are proper spats. I haven't used spats with my Fluvox yet. I have a bunch of ideas for spats. I want to make them longer. I want to make different silhouettes and decorate them in different ways. I'm just And I need to actually prioritize those projects over others, like random out of the blue projects like the dress I made. But yes, these two spats, I love these so much. This top is very much the same silhouette and pattern I used for the striped one. However, I did add a cowl neck and the fit is comfortable yet it looks very snatching. I was also inspired by Dolce & Gabbana with the lace trimming. I had this polka dotted fabric I bought years ago and I just kind of thought it's time to use it. This one is like the vest, the previous one, inspired by Vivienne Westwood. Also with this one, it was the first time I wanted, and I haven't made it since, but I really want to again make more spine inspired pieces. Maybe a fully length blazer, perhaps in the same fabric if I can find it. This one was made out of one of the wedding gowns I thrifted. But yes, I love the spine, and without the pattern, I nailed it. I did do a mug up. I have a funny story. I was in London last year and I wore this in the Vivienne Westwood store, and one of the employees thought it was a Vivienne Westwood piece, and that's the biggest compliment I could ever have received. I'm honored, but again, Vivienne Westwood, she's on a league of her own, but I'm grateful for her mind and being able to be inspired by her pieces, which is one of them. As you can see, it's a piece you have to layer, and since I wore the star vest with high-waisted pants or shorts, it's less noticeable that it is a layering piece, but I love it. I love all the possible ways I can style it. These pants are from Dolce & Gabbana. I think I have forgotten to tell you where my pieces are from, but I have worn the pieces in previous videos where I listed the brands, or if you're interested in some of it, just ask me and I'll tell you. I don't gatekeep. Anyhow, this is the vest, and then I also have this, which was a part of a two-piece set. The skirt I just sold fits like a glove. It has boning in it and was inspired by a pattern I had for a 1950s bathing suit romper, but I made it into a top instead. This piece, this top, I love dearly. This front panel is made from vintage laced and embroidered napkins I inherited from my grandma. This piece I found at a local thrift store. And at the back, we have a zipper, and we got the Juliet sleeves. I love it. And I was again very inspired by Vivienne Westwood, Alexander McQueen, and all the other fashion houses I adore. This one, I was very inspired by Comme des Garçons. I wore it in my 26 outfits for 2026. It's beautiful, and in that video, I'm styling it in one of the ways I would. It's made out of tulle and soft tulle, and then I have the thicker tulle for adding the volume at the shoulders and the sturdiness. Instead of interfacing, I added it on the collar, and it's a beautiful piece. Again, I had a pattern. I think, yeah, I used the same pattern as I did here, believe it or not. Same pattern, but I changed up the color and the length and the sleeves and the front closure. And that's pretty much all the changes quite a lot, but you can do a lot with one single pattern. And I mix a lot of patterns where I lay them on top of each other and draw on a blank piece of paper or whatever you have at hand and make a new pattern. This one I also just wore and styled for a shoot I did for Angel Theory. They so kindly gifted me 2 pairs of stockings. I love them. And in that shoot, I wore this one. Ashniko also wore it for the Glam Cold magazine. I love Ashniko. I'm not a big fan of Glam Cold since they still haven't refunded me for the faulty magazine they sent me. But yes, this one is styled. I have styled in a bunch of ways and for a lot of photo shoots. I might be selling this one just because I have worn it a bunch of times and a lot of people have reached out asking if they could purchase it or I could make customs for them. I'm not very good with sizing yet. That's the reason why I'm not really going into it fully and designing for people. I make one size for me. That's what I'm used to and that's the pattern I have. So I'm still a little insecure about making clothes for people. But hats, on the other hand, stay tuned. For the last outfit and the last pieces, I'm showing you this headpiece. I love the Japanese Lolita inspired pieces, anything, even this outfit. The headpiece I made out of the same fabric I used for this military hat I showed you before. It's stuck. And the top is a repurposed top. It was originally this shirt, but I seam ripped the sleeves and made my own since I'm very inspired by Comme des Garçons and I wanted to add some more fill and volume. The laces here are also repurposed from previous projects or items that needed new life. What else? I think, yes, I have one more item. It's not a sewing item, but anything you create is something you should be proud of. And this doll key I made for a collaboration with this small brand, A Case of Hysteria. The key is very much inspired by Jean Paul Gaultier. I printed out a bunch of black and white pictures and I added safety pins, I added dots and leather to make it 3D. And here, I love that it's kind of making the shape of the corset even more drastic. And I think that's it. It has been quite a journey and I would love to hear what your favorite pieces are and what your favorite and most proudest creation was in 2025. It can be anything. It can be making a bow. It can be making a snowman, finishing a diary, anything you feel accomplished about. Does anything count and anything you create is a proud moment. I just want to say thank you for watching, dolls, and I'll see you in my next video.